Okay, hi, my name is Sofia Lozada, and today I am going to present the analysis of the boy in the striped pajamas. First of all, the index contains the following. To start, I am going to explain a quote that caught my attention. Then I am going to talk about the author, then about the book. To continue, I am going to explain the text analysis and finally the references. And why should you read it? Okay, the quote that I chose is the following. Only the victims and survivors can truly comprehend the awfulness of that time and place. The rest of all of us live on the other side of the fence, staring through from our uncomfortable place, trying in our own clumsy ways to make sense of it all. John Boyne, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, 2020. Um, I chose that quote because I found it very frustrating and sincere since each of us almost knew what happened in the Holocaust, and sometimes we have had to talk about it, but without guiding ourselves from what some people have told us. And it's true, the only ones who know what really happened and how horrible it was were those people who were at that time. We are on the other side of the story, as the quote said, not on the side of the victims, but on the side of our own place, seeing what happened. Okay, now I am going to talk about the author, John Boyne. He is a contemporary novelist and the author of a lot of famous and excellent adult novels and youth books. He was born on April 30 in 1971 in Dublin, Ireland. Today he is 49 years old. The most of his novels and books are translated in foreign language because they had and continue nowadays to be very useful in different countries. He studies two professions. One was creative writing at the University of East Anglia, and the other was English literature at the Trinity College in Dublin. He started to interest in the books and to write when he was 12 years old. He became interested in writing novels and books after he studied at the two different universities I mentioned above. He launched as a writer with a short story called Entertainment Jar. This story was nominated to win the Hennessy Literary Award, and then he starts to write a lot of short stories. About of 17 of them are in the trade. John Boyne it is characterized because he likes to write novels for adults and books for young people, like The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, and the main topic is domestic fiction. It is very common that most of his works were related to the concentration camps in Germany and that type of topics. Also, he wins 3 Irish Book Awards. Okay, total of books. John Boyne has a big production counting books, articles, introduction, and contributions. He writes 12 novels for adults and 6 novels for young people, 5 short stories, and 3 really short stories, 14 introductions, 6 contributions, and 56 articles. It was a total of 145 productions. Best books he wrote. The best four books he wrote that had most success are The Boy on the Striped Pajamas, was a book that is very interesting book because the story is captivating and interesting that cause that the reader to be more interested in what is happening in the story and want to know more. For that reason, it seems to me that is not a boring book and it's a very good one. The next one is A Letter to the Sky was a novel for adults. It talks about a very handsome and elegant man who decides to become a novelist and writer, and for that he travels some countries in search of fame. An interesting fact is that this novel had about 26 editions because it's one of the bestseller novels of him. Other one was The Heart's Invisible Furies. It's about a girl adopted by a couple in Dublin and wants to find out where she came from. Also, an interesting fact of this book was that it's considered the book of the year in 2017. And finally, My Brother's Name is Jessica. It was a book about Sam Weber's life. It has consistently been quiet, peaceful, somewhat of a recluse like that, and that he battles to make companions, and his bustling guardians frequently cause him to feel imperceptible. Um, Films based on his books. There was in total of 5 films based on his books. The first one was The Boy on the Striped Pajamas. It was a good movie and tells the story, but have a lot of difference between the book. Then The Absolutist. It was about Tristan Salvador. It was about a Tristan Salvador that takes a train from London to Norwich to deliver some letters to Marian Bancroft, and Tristan fought alongside Marian's brother. The next one was The Telegram Man, that tells a story about a man who explores the impact of the World War II on a close-knit Australian farming community. And then continue The University Challenge, that is a TV show. And finally, The Breakfast, that is also a TV show based on John Boyne books. And now I am going to talk about the book. Okay, so the story starts in Berlin, where Bruno and his family lived until they offered his dad a new job and moved out to Outwit with Bruno was also a bright and intelligent boy, but he did not like the house because he missed his friends until finally he can adapt with the help of Maria, that was his nanny. Bruno was a boy who liked to explore, and so he decided and because of that, he decided to pass the fight that divided his house with the concentration camp where meets Ishmael, very malnourished and dirty boy. They become friends, and Bruno always brought him things to eat or play. One day, Ishmael's dad disappeared and he tried to find him, but he couldn't find him. So Bruno offered to go in with him to go find his dad. When Bruno goes into the concentration camp, Ismael brings him the striped pajamas and he wipes himself so that the soldiers don't discover that he didn't belong there. After several hours looking for Ismael's dad, they can't find him, so they enter the showers. Since principal, they were supposed to take a bath or a shower, but they end up in a gas chamber, and that's where they die. Finally, Bruno's family looks for him everywhere. His mother and Gretel decide to return to Berlin, but the father stays. After all, he finds out that Bruno died in the gas chamber and decide to close all the concentration camps so that something like that will never happen again. Okay, the book was graded in 2006, but the first publication was in January 5th of 2006, and then was republished on September 12th in 2006. The publisher was David Ficklin Books. The original book has 260 pages, and an important fact is that the book was repeatedly criticized but also have positive reviews because the people say that it was a moral tale about the people's education based on the Holocaust. Okay, now I am going to explain text analysis. Okay, first, the form of the book is a written text type because no one page does it have an illustration or drawing, not even small. And all the book is a script. Here you can see a pic of the book in PDF. All the pages are like the one on the slide. Okay, the format. The book is classified as a novel historical fiction because it tells a fictional story that takes place in a historical setting. That means that the book was based in a situation that occurred in the real life but used fiction characters. And also is a fictional story because take place in other time in the 1940 during the Second World War. As I said before, the characters in the book are imaginary, but the context of the story is a real fact. And finally, also it is a story with real things, but it is told in a narrative way. The genre. The book is considered a non-fiction story because it's based on the Holocaust in Germany, a fact that occurred in the real life, as I mentioned before. The book has imaginary characters that tell us the story of something that happened in 1940, but was a time in the real life. Here you can see a fragment of the book when Schmalz's dad disappeared in the concentration camp. Okay, the register. The book was written in a neutral form because used language registered with known emotional topics and information. Also, the book writing is not directly formal or informal because first, the book don't use a language for personal or fun text, and also it don't use a formal language like an important email or business message. Besides, it is not using positive or negative facts. And here you can see that use a language with contractions like isn't and your. The audience of the book was mass media. It means that the book was for many people because it has 55 editions and has been published in 47 languages. And it's a topic for education, so it could be for many people. Yes. Also, the main audience were the young people and the adults because the book talked about the concentration camps and the bad things that the German people does in that place. Here you can see a picture of the PDF book that mentions the work of the soldiers in the Holocaust. They showed the Jewish people and also they mistreat them. It is a book with sometimes heavy teaching topic, and for that reason, the audience that should read the book will be adults and young people. The purpose of the book was to entertain and inform because, according to John Boyne in an interview, the main topic was to entertain the people with the story of a friendship between Bruno and Shmuel, with his adventures and when Bruno is kind and helps Shmuel find his daughter, until sadly they died in the gas chamber. but also John Boy wants to tell the audience the real things that happened with the Jewish people in the Holocaust. He wants that the people know with his book. Characters. The main characters was Bruno and Ishmael, as the purpose was the friendship of them. Okay, so Bruno is a 9-year-old German boy whose father is the commandant of a concentration camp. He is outgoing and adventurous. Ishmael also is a 9-year-old Jewish boy imprisoned at Auschwitz, although Ishmael's father is missing near the end of the novel. Ishmael remains hopeful until Ishmael is killed, not the secondary characters. First, Ralph is Bruno's overbearing and unaffectionate father, the commandant of the Auschwitz prison camp. Gretel is Bruno's 12-year-old sister, whose deep love for Bruno is apparent at the end of the story. Elizabeth is Bruno's loving yet distracted alcoholic mother, who rails against her husband duties at the camp. Lieutenant Kotler, whose first name is Kurt, is bullying 19-year-old German officer at Auschwitz who may be the son of the Jewish or anti-Hitler parents. Pavel is an elderly Jewish prisoner and servant. He is a former doctor who is forced to serve as a waiter in the family's home at Auschwitz. He is very thin and often unstable on his feet because of mistreatment and malnourishment. Maria is the family's maid or nanny. Maria has been with the family for about 6 years. She is appreciative of her job and is very friendly toward Bruno. And finally, Ishmael's dad, called Papa by Ishmael. Ishmael's father is a watchmaker. When Ishmael's father disappears at Auschwitz, Bruno volunteers to help Ishmael look for him, which leads to Bruno dying beside Ishmael in a gas chamber. Okay, the perspective. The author always wants to demonstrate what was happening in the Holocaust, to start from a very nice friendship between two characters so as not to be so rude the book. Here you can see the friendship of two characters that are Bruno and Ishmael. Okay, now the point of view. So the point of view of the author was third-person objective. As you can see in the slide, the author does not mention what he say at all. The character stroke. So the point of view is the third-person objective because the narrator only describes what the characters are doing as if he is observing him. And you can see here a fragment when the author only say the things that the characters does. Okay, the plot. The novel begins in Germany in 1940 when Bruno comes home from school to find the maid Maria, and Maria was packing his things because the family is moving away from Berlin. Bruno was not happy about this, but Bruno's out of luck. His father just got a promotion and they're moving on up, whether he wants or not. The family's new house is smaller than their old house, super isolated, and there's a huge wire fence near the property. While Bruno unpacks his things, he spots a catchly-looking blonde soldier and takes an immediate liking to him. During his exploration season, Bruno comes upon a boy sitting on the ground in pajamas. And Armand Bruno is kind of shocked by how small and sad looking the boy is. And Bruno could really use some company. Turns out that the boy's name is Ishmael, and Bruno is share a birthday with Ishmael. Ishmael is from Poland and informs the elves Bruno that they are in Poland and not in Germany, likes Bruno being stinking. When they part ways, then they plan to meet again tomorrow. Back in the present is the next day. Bruno returns to the fence, and Ishmael explains what happened to him and his family before coming to the camp. Soon after, Bruno walks into his kitchen and is shocked to see Ishmael cleaning crystal glasses. Turns out his pals being brought to the house by Cutler to clean glasses for father's birthday celebration. What should be a cool catch up turns disastrous when Bruno offers small chicken. He eats, of course, and Cutler, the soldier, catches him and gets mad as well. Says Bruno he gave it to him and their friends, but Bruno says he's never seen him before in his life. After more than a year, Bruno's mother wants to move back to Berlin with the kids. Bruno's not as happy as they thought he'd about this idea, so Andrew is breaking the news to Ishmael. However, as it turns out, Ishmael has bigger two fish to fry. His dad's gone missing. The boys hatch a plan for Bruno to dress up in pajamas and help Ishmael find his dad before he leaves Auschwitz on Saturday. The next day, Friday, Bruno goes to the fence. He changes into his striped pajamas, leaves his things on the side and calls under the fence. The two boys walk toward the camp and Bruno realizes that things are very bad on Ishmael's side. Bruno wants to go home, but he's promised Ishmael he'll help and as a loyal friend. He stays. Unfortunately, though they don't find Ishmael's father. Just as Bruno is about to head home, the boys are surrounded by soldiers and forced to march. They're led to a gas chamber, and once inside, they hold hands. They lights go off. A chaos ensues, and we unfortunately know that the end of their story is not going to be happy. The last chapter shows how the family deals with Bruno's disappearance. His mother and Gretel eventually go back to Berlin, but his father stays in Auschwitz. One day he was an epiphany, retraced Bruno's steps, and realized with horror what happened to his son. The novels end with other soldiers coming to Auschwitz and ordering him to go with them. Okay, characterization. So the main character is Bruno. Bruno is the naive but perspective man character of the story. He is a dark-haired and small for his age. He thirsts for adventure and discovery, and this trait leads him toward transformation. Though he resists everything about his new home at Outwich, initially his love for his friends small changes his attitude. His actions are that he very nobly, intelligent, good boy, and also he liked adventures. He in the book clearly expresses that he did not like the new house and missed living in Berlin with his friends and grandparents. The effect on the other was that Bruno wanted to help Ishmael and he appreciated so much. And also Bruno to his family was a very adventurous child and to Ishmael he was a very friendly child. The thoughts of Bruno were that he was kindness and good boy toward the Jews. Finally, the appearance of Bruno was that physical. Bruno was small with blue eyes and short hairstyle. Here you can see the evidence of characterization. First, we can see the effect on others in this part of the book when Bruno helped Schmal to find his dad. That represents the effect that can Bruno make in Schmal when he was a good boy and help Schmal no matter that he was a Jew. Then also you can see the evidence of speech, but Bruno did not like the new house because he liked where he lived with his friends and his big house in Berlin. The first fragment is a direct characterization since the author mentioned that Bruno is the one who is speaking. And the second one was indirect characterization because the narrator don't mention that Bruno was talking, but we know that they are referring to Bruno in an indirect way. Okay, now the talks of Bruno. When he saw all the people in the concentration camp want to play with them and be nice for the Jews, they were always good people, no matter that they were their enemies. Finally, the actions of Bruno, he loved to explore, and that's why he always left the house to do something new, as we can see what he says in the picture. In here, the first image, the author is referring to Bruno in a direct way, as we can see that he mentioned Bruno. But in the second one is an indirect way because he don't mention Bruno, but we know that he is talking about him. Why should you read it? Okay, you should read this book if you like to know historical facts, like know about the concentration camps, the Jews, and the Nazis. Also, you will find the friendship of two characters. It's cool and easy to read. You can have fun and distraction with this book. Okay, here are the references of the images and the information. And that's all. I hope you like it.